Hello everyone, this is Julie from Inspired Health and Wellness. It's my voice, but it's not my face. The face is that of my daughter Katrina Humphries. Hi Katrina, say hi Katrina.
Hi.
So Katrina has been doing her eyebrows for many years now. She has lots of experience and she does a beautiful eyebrow, if I do say so myself. So she's had several people ask her about how she does it. So today she is going to show us how she does it. Although she tells me she's not going to talk. So I might have to ask questions. I don't know. But anyways, go ahead, Katrina. Here we go.
Alright, so usually I start with a brow pencil. I have this one from Annabelle, but just anyone that you like that's in your color will work. And that's how I start to give it shape.
So you want to make sure you're matching your color as close to your natural color as possible, right?
Yeah, or just whatever color you want it to be. I mean, like I made my eyebrows purple for Halloween once with eyeliner, and my eyebrows are brown, so.
Okay. All right then. So anybody who wants purple or green or yellow or whatever you want, you just have to get the appropriate pencil color. And this is an actual eyebrow pencil?
This one is specifically for eyebrows, yes. It's, I think, taupe. Yeah, taupe.
And so could somebody use a pencil that's more like an eyeliner, as long as it wasn't sparkly or something?
You could. Eyeliner tends to go on a lot darker and thicker,
Okay.
and like eyebrow pencils, the actual pigment is stiffer, whereas I find on eyeliners it's a lot softer, which makes it darker and gunkier
Okay.
on your eyebrow. I don't like the way eyeliner feels, but sometimes you do it for Halloween costumes.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. And I see that you have quite a sharp point there. Is that really important?
It helps to get a better shape. Like I go back in with whatever my foundation. If you have concealer, you could use concealer too to clean up the lines anyways, but it just helps them stay cleaner from the beginning because
Okay.
if you have it's like when you're drawing, like you want a precise line. You don't want like a really fat line that isn't gonna, it's gonna make your eyebrow look a lot thicker if you use a thicker pencil.
Okay. Sorry for interrupting you. I just, I have questions. I'm not as practiced at doing my eyebrows as you are, so, I'm learning too.
Don't make me laugh on myself.
Sorry. I don't know why you're laughing about me learning, but anyways.
I mean, it's a little amusing because you're the one that taught me how to do makeup. And now I'm teaching you how to do makeup.
Because you have spent a lot more time on
copious
makeup.
amounts of time.
I tend to
Just because you
be a less is more kind of person.
I like to play.
But I do enjoy how a nice eyebrow can really define your eyes. And I actually have been playing over the last few COVID weeks with maybe just doing my eyebrows and doing nothing else to my eyes. So, no mascara. Yeah, I'm enjoying the no mascara.
So then once I have like a rough shape, oh, can you see it in the camera?
Yes.
With the pencil, I pick, and technically people say you should use like eyebrow powder, but they stopped making the kind that I like, so I just use an eyeshadow that's the same color as my eyebrows. And then I take my favorite angled brush, and that's what I use to darken it.
So I see you have an angled brush that is kind of a medium size, because I have a tiny angled brush for eyeliner and stuff. So you've got one that's a little bit bigger there. Does it matter?
I wouldn't go bigger than this.
Okay. But smaller would be okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a really thin eyebrow, I would use a smaller one than this.
Okay.
Just kind of go for what works for your eyebrow, basically.
And it's nice that people can use what they have already, because maybe we don't want to be going out doing a lot of shopping right now. So this is a good time to
and
use
online
what you've got
shopping.
and play around.
With online shopping, you don't really know what color you're accurately gonna get, because everyone's screen reads differently anyways.
That's true. Yeah. So you're just basically filling in the lines that you kind of drew with the pencil?
Yeah, making it darker, and because like I have kind of a sparse patch, this makes the color more even.
Right.
Some people would be fine with just a pencil, but I don't have very like voluminous eyebrows to start, because I destroyed them in 7th or 8th grade.
So if somebody had a little scar or something like that in their eyebrows, so they had a bit of a patchy spot, they would probably want to include this step.
Yeah. Well, I mean, unless you don't care that you have a scar in your eyebrow, because sometimes they look cool.
This is true.
Also pretty important to try and keep a neutral facial expression, which I'm struggling with.
And also you're working with the natural line that your eyebrows are already making, as opposed to trying to create something completely different.
Yeah, I mean, you can create something completely different, but usually that involves glue and copious amounts of foundation and the drag queen method of getting rid of the initial eyebrow.
Right, okay.
So, unless you want to shave it off. Some people just shave off their eyebrows and start with nothing.
Yeah, well, and some people actually have lost their eyebrows for various reasons, so that's like starting with a clean slate too.
I also always like to do the front lighter than the rest of the eyebrow, because on a natural eyebrow the front is always going to be more sparse. It usually stays, your eyebrow's usually thickest kind of in the middle, but I tend to make the middle and the end stay the same but have it a bit lighter on the inside. I just think it looks better.
I'm learning so many things here.
I used to do super block eyebrows, and now I look back at those pictures and I'm like, why is it all one color? That looks so bad. And everyone else tells me that they look fine and I'm wrong, but I'm like, no, you're wrong. They look terrible. But like Mom said, I've been doing this for, years. I think I started in 7th or 8th grade, and I'm going into my 4th year of university now.
Yeah. So you're basically just doing little bits at a time, just
trying to even it out. And I tend to pack it in rather than do brush strokes, because if strokes will make it the eyeshadow blend out more and be less pigmented. And because I'm filling in the spot where there's less hair, I want to pack it in so that it keeps as much pigment as possible.
So by packing it in, you're saying kind of dabbing it in, basically. Yeah. Okay.
No one's going to get that.
And also you're using a magnifying mirror, I might note. No?
I
would have to use a magnifying mirror.
But I find the magnifying really distracting to try and use, so I just lean really close.
Okay, but you see well up close.
Yeah, I need glasses for distance.
Some of us don't see so well up close anymore. And it's hard to do your eyebrows with glasses on. Yeah. I think.
Well, I mean, if you have really small lenses, you might be able to, but
So just before you do the other side, just make sure you look full on to the camera so we can see the difference. Okay, nice, lovely. Okay.
And then usually I would do this step on both eyebrows at the same time, but the camera can see this eyebrow better, which is why I did one eyebrow first.
I see.
That doesn't really matter. That's just how I do it, because I like to be done with one thing.
Right.
And then go to the next. But then I'll draw this one in, and then I look at how even they are and kind of make them look more even, with either, if it needs to go a little higher on one side, I'll make it a little higher, and then I always have leftover foundation and a brush to clean up the lines to make them look more even.
Okay. So could you use just, instead of using foundation on a brush to clean up? Oh, I was going to say, could you just use a Q-tip, and a damp Q-tip, and kind of take
well,
the edges
because
off?
I wear foundation, if I did that, that would leave a hole in my foundation.
Okay.
If you don't wear foundation, you could use makeup remover or probably a Q-tip. I don't know. Depending on your product, though, just water on a Q-tip might just smudge it.
Okay.
Instead of actually taking it away. So, like, through my years of experience, I have found that foundation or concealer on a brush works best. I just don't have any concealer that's my shade because they don't make it pale enough. Unless you want...
Get outside, girl.
I look bad with the tan.
Well, you have
because then you can see how pale my scalp is.
You need to wear sunscreen anyways, even if you go outside, because you don't want to be out there purposefully
tanning, damaging your skin.
Exactly. Let's just get a
try
plug
to
for good skincare in here.
Sun damage as much as possible. That's why I like my room in the basement.
No sun down there.
I mean, there actually is. There's a walkout basement, but for the illusion.
Yeah, well, good for you, because if you're going to have great skin for years to come, because you're not going to have all the sunspots and wrinkles and unevenness.
Oh yeah, this has a brush on it that I just use to, sometimes hairs are stubborn and don't go where you want them to. Most makeup, like, brush bags will come with one of these, which this is basically just this. This one's just smaller and already attached to my pencil, so I just use this one.
And that's because it's an eyebrow brush.
Yeah.
That it came with that. Because they expect that you'll be doing a bit of brushing on your brows.
Oh yeah, because I have this one. I didn't like it as much because it was a lot darker, but it had like a little spoolie to use too.
Oh right.
This was a Maybelline one. They didn't really make a brown pale enough for me. Seems to be a trend. Actually, Maybelline doesn't make foundation dark or light enough. Period. For me, I can't use theirs.
So Dad is messaging me about what we want on pizza for supper.
So we can get judged for our topping choices.
Do you have a preference?
I like mushrooms.
Okay. Just mushrooms.
Okay. I like onion too. Just no meat.
I'm gonna go tell him that while you carry on with doing your eyebrows.
I'm probably not gonna talk.
Okay, I'm back. The order has gone in. So I see that you're doing a little bit of a correction there.
I drew down a little too low.
Instead of trying to rub it off, you're covering it up.
Yep.
Okay. Good to know. And is that a foundation brush, tiny foundation brush that you used, or just a eyeshadow brush?
I just use whichever one I think's gonna work. So I don't technically know. Actually, usually I use this one, but I thought it'd be too confusing if I kept wiping the brown off out of focus and then fixing it with the same brush. So I pulled out the one I used to use.
Okay, good idea. So really, people can just play around.
Yeah, I don't really
what they have.
necessarily follow rules when it comes to this. I kind of do what I think will work and go with that.
Well, I like that. That makes it...
Well, because what works for me might not work for someone else, because, like, it depends on your skill level, what you're comfortable with, which brush is most comfortable in your hand. So, like, I do my eyeliner with technically a lip brush, so...
Well, there you go.
I used to do it with this, but I don't find the line as precise enough.
Katrina Humphries, eyebrow rule breaker.
Just, makeup artists would be horrified. I'd do so many things. Not how you would do it.
Oh well. But, you know, you get a beautiful look, so what evs?
It's just your face is your canvas. You get to play.
Did you hear that, everybody? Your face is your canvas. You get to play.
That's so cheesy. This is why Sarah told me I should write Hallmark cards.
Also, I love your headband.
It's a Sailor Moon headband, technically.
Sailor Moon. Oh.
Why?
That's just so cute, and it's so, like, from a long time ago.
But, like, it's a cat. I'm a cat. You
Oh,
get it?
right. Okay.
Also, it was at a store when my friends were at the mall, and I was like, well, that's cute and not expensive. And most of my headbands are broken because I use them. I used to use, when my hair was really long, I would use headbands to put my hair up in a ponytail because nothing else would hold it.
Yep. We're going to be wearing headbands at work probably to attach our masks to, so there you go. So we might not be wearing any makeup because we're going to be covered up with masks and stuff anyways, but we might do our eyebrows.
A lot of nurses and stuff are posting on TikTok that they have the makeup from like here up done, and then they pull their mask off and it's just nothing.
Think of all the time and money saved. Are you done?
No, they're not even.
Oh, see, they look even to me.
This is what everyone always says. They're like, no, they're even. I'm like, no, you're lying.
So you're a perfectionist.
This bump here goes a little higher and arches more, whereas this eyebrow is more flat. Do you see it now? This
a little
one's
bit
more flat on the top.
Yeah, a little bit.
And that bugs me. So I'm going to try and fix it.
Okay.
But again, I've been doing this since 7th or 8th grade. I'm almost done university. So I notice these things. Most people would not. And also, for the most part, I don't judge other people for having bad eyebrows.
That's good, because that was going to be my next question.
I mean, if they're, like, terrible...
Still, no judgment. This is a
I'm
judgment-free zone.
Maybe you're a judgment-free zone.
Oh. You're going to make people afraid to try. Don't be afraid to try.
It's really hard. Also, you have quarantine to, like, figure this out. So, like... But, only if it's, like, way too dark. Or you very clearly did not make two similar shapes. And, like, not everyone's eyebrows are the same, too. Like, mine are pretty similar, but a lot of people's are different. So, like,
yes.
That looks fine, but, like, some people will have, like, one eyebrow that's, like, flat and another one that's, like, very round. And I just don't think that's putting their best foot forward.
Okay. So you can draw it in and make it more similar, basically.
Mm-hmm. All right, fake it till you make it. That is my rule with my eyebrows.
Okay.
That's how I learned how to do them, too. I just kept doing them until I was good at it.
So there you go. Another example of practice makes perfect. Whether it's eyebrows or whatever else you got going on. Playing a musical instrument. Now she's doing the measure. So you can use your tools to measure, which is something that we do when we're waxing eyebrows, actually, so that we can make sure we're keeping them as even as we can.
Oh, I saw this one time in a post that in theory your eyebrows should roughly come in to, if you held the brush up on, like, I don't know, the bulb, I guess, of your nose, not the nostril, like here, it should come in. They said on this side of the brush, but for me, for my face, I think that looks too far back, so I usually try to hit the inside here, and that's also how you can tell if they're similar in how far they come in.
There you go.
Because you might like them filled in more than, like, I like mine filled in more than that rule says, but I just use that to help me gauge how symmetrical they are, because...
So I think when it comes to eyebrows, it's more like guidelines.
Yeah, like they also say, I think it's supposed to be like an angle from here, like
Yeah.
looking forward to your pupil to arch, but that means my eyebrow would arch in the middle of it. Whereas I don't actually really have much of an arch until more like the outside. And they also say, like, if you go to the very inner corner, like outer corner of your eye, from your nostril to that should be where your eyebrow ends, which means mine should actually end like there. But I don't like the way that looks on my face, so
Right.
I extend it to where I want it.
Good. I like it.
And then I kind of use that as a guide to tell. I kind of follow the bottom of my eyelashes as opposed to the outer corner of my eye to try to tell how similar they are. Like, this one's a little too short.
Okay. So how long would you say it normally takes you to do your eyebrows?
Not explaining it, like maybe 10 minutes, sometimes 5, like.
Okay.
But when I started...
Because we're over 20 minutes now, so that's because you're stopping and explaining.
When I started doing my eyebrows, it probably took me like 20 minutes.
Okay. All right.
But that's also because I had to stop and fix things a lot more. And this is also a different setup than I'm used to doing it, so it's harder too, because it's not the lighting that I'm used to.
Okay.
Or anything, which always changes things.
Because I would say 5 minutes tops is what I would spend on makeup in the morning. So
I allocate at least an hour if I'm going to do makeup.
Wow. Yeah, well, we're at different levels.
I also like to wear lots of eyeshadow.
Yeah.
And
well, that would be another video.
We'll just start that one after this one, because I have new palettes to play with.
All right. So are they done now?
I think so.
Okay, give me a full face shot. Oh, beautiful. Look at that symmetry. Look at that natural color. So perfect.
Yep, perfectly matching.
It matches your natural color.
Expose the roots. There we go.
There we go. Well, thank you very much, Katrina, for giving us your expertise. And if you want to try Katrina's method, you can feel free to comment below or even send us pics. That'd be kind of cool. Thank you. Bye. Wave goodbye, Katrina.